It's one of the most inaccessible places on Earth, but the Arctic is about to see a seabed grab as melting ice and the alluring prospects of shipping routes and natural resources draw the countries bordering it to stake claims to their snowy backyards. The 6 countries that border the Arctic Ocean, that's Russia, Norway, Iceland, Denmark for Greenland, Canada, and the United States for Alaska, have until May the 13th of 2009 to submit claims to the United Nations to parts of the seabed that are currently allocated to no one. Going back 12 months, less of the ocean is covered by ice in the summer and more in winter, as you'd expect. But underlying this seasonal variation is a long-term trend that makes more of these submarine territories accessible and ups the stakes for the interested countries. This becomes obvious when we focus inside the Arctic Circle. If we rewind a few decades and track the extent of the sea ice at the end of each summer, from 1979 until the present, we see that each year, bar a few blips, less and less of it survives the warmer weather. We can see from the median line, which shows the average extent of the sea ice in September, between 1979 and 2000, just how much things have changed in recent years. This trend is likely to continue because seawater is darker than ice, and so it absorbs more of the sun's energy, meaning that the more the ice melts, the faster it is likely to in future. So, sooner or later, 1 or even 2 shipping routes could open up. That would save fortunes for shipping companies and exporters, and perhaps lose a few more for those who control other routes, such as the Panama Canal, and save a lot of time for the supertankers too big to fit through the canal, even if it were navigable for only a few months of the year. Now let's look beneath the ice, or what's left of it anyway. Even more potentially valuable than shipping routes are the oil and gas deposits thought to lie there. Last July, the United States Geological Survey published some pretty big estimates. As the ice melts, exploiting these will start to become feasible, and although both oil and gas have become cheaper recently, prices are expected to rise again, underpinning the worth of these deposits. Generally, a country's territorial waters extend 12 nautical miles from its coast, and its exclusive economic zone, that includes fishing rights, extends 200 nautical miles. When 2 countries could both make claims under these rules, they must either sort it out between themselves or go to an international court to reach agreement on their borders. Often the boundary ends up being equidistant between their coasts. And a country can lay claim to what lies on and under its continental shelf within 350 nautical miles. That includes drilling rights. Those that want to do so must make their case to the United Nations by May the 13th, 2009. Some have already done so. Others are gearing up to. They will have to provide plenty of evidence, such as geological and hydrological surveys, showing, say, that their continental shelves extend farther than the arbitrary 200-mile limit. Some bits of Arctic Ocean are too far from land for any country to claim, but other bits have already become the objects of competing claims. So, as the ice melts and the world wrings its hands over global warming and rising sea levels, 6 countries are squaring off. Similar claims are being lodged for the seabed in other parts of the world, but few are as contentious as those in the Arctic.